We said it was going to be a quick turnaround. It is going to be a quick turnaround. So we're going to go straight into game 3 with Bunnings versus Nova out on Infernal Shrines. But before we do that, of course, let's choose who's going to get that beautiful DVA bundle. So we'll just get Crisis in the background for us to push that button and see who wins that great bundles provided to us by, of course, Blizzard ANZ, who, of course, want to help the Heroes of the Storm scene, and we want to make sure everyone can get in. So the winner is me. So we're going to, of course, redraw that because I would love to win it, but unfortunately, that'd be a bit too unfair. So, of course, the new winner is Bob Goat. See what the bot says. No worries. So we're going to get Kit and we're going to go straight into game 3.
Thank you very much, Avexium. Congratulations to all the winners tonight. But if you are among those that haven't actually picked up a skin or a bundle or anything like that yet, all you have to do is type !GS HotS into the Twitch chat and you'll get yourself into the draw. But my name is Kitfox. We're going to be jumping straight in to Infernal Shrines for We Met at Bunnings, going head-to-head against Nova and Out. And joining me once again in the analyst position, it is a good evening to the man with one of the best beards in the business, GLPhoenix.
Thanks for that, Kit. I try my best, but yeah, it's a work in progress. We'll say that much. And as we said, we are getting into this game on Infernal Shrines. I did mention at the start of the first game that a little bit jokingly that we're on our favorite map, Warhead Junction. I guess, haha. But with this map, Infernal Shrines, I can actually legitimately say that it is probably one of the more popular maps in the whole pool. It's a very popular map. Everyone loves it. There's so much going on with it, and it's like so fun to play. Just
it's
in general.
Great. I mean, it's one of the maps that came out when the game, was released, so people have had a lot of time to play on it.
I don't think it's that old. It was.
One of the first ones that was released.
After the initial set, yeah, it was one of the later released ones with the whole Diablo expansion thing that they did with it all, and it is an incredible map alongside Battlefield of Eternity, which I think are two really solid maps in the HGC pool. But I get in the draft, the Nubarak taken away, a very solid pick, and the Gordon taken away. I'm not entirely sure that one. Yes, the Gordon is really good for the wave clear, and the wave clear can be very valuable when it comes into the shrine phase, but it's not really something that you'd usually prioritize as a first ban unless it's something that you just really don't want to deal with.
We've seen it a bit in the GameStar HGC qualifiers, especially on Infernal Shrines, that Gul'dan has actually been taken off the board because of that reason that you have mentioned. So much wave clear, and when you can control a shrine and wave clear at the same time, that is almost borderline OP on this map. So when you can create that zoning effect with people like Anubarak or Arthas that are the big frontline beefy tankers, and then throw somebody like a Chromie on the backline or Li Ming just hopping out orbs, there's so much damage that can be thrown out. Now Sylvanas being picked in here for Nova and Out on Team Red. What do you make of that, GLPhoenix?
Well, Sylvanas kind of fell out of quite massively in the meta, but in the few maps that she does get a bit of value on would be Infernal Shrines, Battlefield of Eternity, and kind of like Haunted Mines, but that's not really in the HGC pool, but it's currently in the ranked rotation, so we see that a fair bit. But Sylvanas is the thing with Sylvanas on this map is that yes, if you get the Punisher, you can really punish your opponents. It's a very win more kind of hero. But the thing is that her presence in fight can be a little bit lacking, so you can sometimes miss out on winning the shrine phase, and that is where the risk is in picking up a Sylvanas. You want to be able to win those shrine phases so you can make the most of her passive and really just push the pressure onto your opponents, but you kind of need to win the phase first, which sometimes can't happen with the Sylvanas.
Arthas now being locked in here from the team at We Met at Bunnings. Let's see what they can do with the Lich King. I mean, he does have so much armor. He's got so much... his kit is just fantastic. You're able to lock down, deal AoE damage, and still take massive amounts of hits, especially when you've got somebody like Uther who is able to just throw out those flashes of light, throw out those holy radiances, throw out those holy lights, everything that he's got just to keep up Arthas, because the longer he is in the fight, GeoPhoenix, the more of a problem he becomes for the opposing team.
Yeah, he's pretty much and then just his presence is annoying. Yeah. Sure, he does have his AoE presence, which actually does damage and is a real annoyance to deal with. But just like being around, he can be such a brick wall to deal with. And when if he does manage to get set up around these shrines, he can be so hard to dislodge. So a very good start to the draft for Weemat at Bunnings. We'll have to see how Nova and Out try and respond to this, because the Malfurion and the Sylvanas, well, they're strong picks, but we'll have to see how they kind of round out their draft.
Valor being taken off the board now as well for the Nova and Out lads. They are still, I was about to say, they are still yet to pick up their range DPS. Sylvanas is technically a specialist, but still able to deal out large amounts of range damage with that wave clear, with those black arrows, just able to lock down buildings, able to lock down lanes, and have a similar presence to what Zagara had on the map that we just saw on the Towers of Doom. We saw Ninja play a fantastic split pushing Zagara. That's what Sylvanas will be trying to emulate here. But now the ban for the Weemat at Bunnings lads, hovering Leoric here, another good choice for Infernal Shrines, and now he's benched.
Yeah, he does have a pretty good time on this map. I mean, he does have a reasonable amount of wave clear ever since he kind of got that additional buff to his skeletal swing. He can really help out in that regard, and his presence just around the shrine area cannot be understated. And also, if you're just going like Leoric v Arthas, just the life drain or the drain hope can be a real problem to deal with if you're not really like if you can dodge it, the Leoric loses a lot of his value. But if he manages to hit it, the Arthas has to back away.
That's one of the payoffs for Leoric. I mean, he's slow moving. His attacks are cumbersome, but if they hit, I mean,
he kind of lives and dies by his drain hope. If he manages to land it, he can walk forward. He can apply, just impose his presence and his will upon his opponents. But if he misses it, he kind of has to play a little bit more reserved and be a little bit more worried about his well-being.
So let's see what the Nova and Out lads lock in here. They're still out yet to pick up a mage there. We see Chromie now being locked in, as well as Diva. Shout out to Benny.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting composition to see play out. I mean, they've got the artillery with the Chromie. We'll have to see if they can actually keep her alive long enough to actually deal that damage. But the Diva can very well just play a very defensive role, or just pretty much just dive the backline and nullify a lot of their damage. So we'll have to see how they end up utilizing this Diva. And also, we saw Nomia play the Diva in their first series against SPT and on this map, and was incredible with it. So we know that the Diva can work on this map. So we're very happy to see this one coming in.
Yeah, I mean, Diva's just so great at creating a zone for your team to do what they need to do. So, i.e., get the Infernal Shrine Guardians down, or take a point on Towers of Doom, or even Battlefield of Eternity that's coming up tonight. You could create that effect away from your Immortal. I mean, her zone potential is fantastic. I like the Diva pick here, especially into Chromie. It allows Chromie a lot of targets. They're going to be keeping them at a distance. And now we can see Bunnings going for the hard counter with Zeratul, and then locking in Tychus as well, just to shred whatever Diva will be dishing out on the front line.
Yeah, it's a very, very damage-heavy lineup coming in from the Weemat at Bunnings boys. The Greyman is going to be doing a lot, and the Zeratul will be diving in as well. Whereas the Tychus is going to be pretty much sitting on the backline, and as you mentioned, is going to be shredding pretty much any tank that comes towards him. The Diva will want to be moving forward, but we'll have to be a little bit careful about how far she goes in, because that Tychus can really tear her apart. And just looking at this composition from Nova and Out so far, they will want to be picking up another warrior more than likely, because the Diva, although she can be a real annoying presence to deal with, she's not the most solid of solo warriors, because once she's out of the mech, she is squishy as anything.
She doesn't deal a terrible amount of DBS in baby form either. I know one of her abilities can actually go over the wall. It can snipe people over the walls. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on there?
Yeah,
but
the big shot can do a decent amount. Yeah, she's actually a really, if she's left alone, she can do a lot in pilot form, but she's just like so squishy that you have to be very careful with how you position. But it is going to be the Johanna, so that is going to be that brick wall that they want to set up in front of that Chromie to allow her to set up around the shrines, maybe set up a few of those time traps, and really be a big nuisance to the side of Weemat at Bunnings.
I don't mind the wave clear on either of these teams. I mean, Arthas, Tychus, Greymane for Weemat at Bunnings, and then you've got Johanna with that Condemn, able to suck them all in, and then Chromie with those Dragon Breaths, Sylvanas, with the Banshees, the Haunting Wave as well. both of these two teams have got mountains of potential to take these shrines very, very fast, but we'll run through the two teams. It is We Met at Bunnings over on Team Blue, Tanner the Spanner on Zeratul, Arthas is OG, Tychus is Jester, Helium on Uther, and Painling on Greymane.
And on the side of Nova and Out, we have Eata on Sylvanas, Dinks on Diva, Dilstar on Malfurion, Gorgorath
yep.
on Chromie, and Saint Oz on Johanna.
Oh,
that's
God.
an awkward name.
That brings you back to the Battlefield days when people just had the most ridiculous names. Have you ever tried to cast a Battlefield 2 match? Some of the weirdest names going around in any game I've ever seen. But we are, of course, here for the HGC qualifiers on GameStar TV. If you haven't done so already, ladies and gentlemen, !GS HotS into the Twitch chat to go into the draw for your chance at a Diva bundle. We gave everybody Genji codes last week, so Diva is on the plate today. But GLPhoenix here, John Cena set to make an appearance. Are you excited? Because I am.
I'm always excited for an Infernal Shrines game. It's such a fun map to watch. There's so much going on, and surprisingly, we don't have any of the global heroes coming into this game. We usually see something like the Dahaka or the Falstad, but none of those have turned up, and now we'll just have to see straight up 5v5 fighting.
Yeah, straight up split push coming out here from Nova and Out as well. You got Diva up into the top, Sylvanas down the bottom, not even bothering with the level 1 engage in the mid. And I think that was read by We Met at Bunnings, Helium just trying his best to throw out those holy radiances just to see if anybody's in that bush. But no, they're having none of it, GLPhoenix.
Yeah, just playing it incredibly conservative on the side of Nova and Out, not wanting to overextend, but one thing that we have to mention when it comes to the Sylvanas is that you really want to be applying a lot of pressure in the lanes. You want to get value out of that passive because that's essentially what you're picking the Sylvanas for. You want to be pushing down towers, whereas while your opponents can't actually do the same elsewhere on the map. So if they're just playing a very defensive Sylvanas, they're losing a bit of value on that pick.
Well, that was because Tanner on the Zeratul was all up in Sylvanas' face there. Now Helium and Jester are down in the bot lane as well. They are not giving Sylvanas any room to breathe. And that's smart play from We Met at Bunnings. I mean, if you lock down the specialist, they're essentially useless come team fights. I mean, Wailing Arrow, yes, it does have a bit of value. But Sylvanas has a lot of her, dollars invested in that split push back.
Yeah, she's not really getting a whole lot of value. Like, playing a defensive Sylvanas is not what you want to be doing. You want to be playing proactive. You want to be pushing down towers and getting that experience lead so you have those advantages when it comes to the actual team fights. But having to play so far back with that good rotation coming down from We Met at Bunnings, so we'll have to see if they're able to get any more advantages once we come into this first shrine phase.
Dinks and OG are trading blows up in the top lane. Frost Presence is in, and Dinks finally decides to boost away. Mecha still available, does actually get the shrine heal off, but this first shrine now in the mid lane, it's going to be an arcane dished up for the entree of Punishers on this map, and now we can see the rotation coming in from We Met at Bunnings. Tanner needs to be careful because Saint Oz is there with a fantastic condemn. Does actually catch OG and Tanner, but no, nothing did come of it. Now, the Unstoppable did actually get forced out from Saint Oz there, so Iron Skin is off the table now, and we can see the We Met at Bunnings lads not having any bar of this team fight. They're going to go for Shrine.
And with already members of We Met at Bunnings set up, it's going to be a little bit hard for Nova now to actually get in. They are starting to put some damage down thanks to the Chromie off the side, but this is just giving a lot of pressure over to the side as we see a nice kill going down on the bottom side. Yeah,
Tanner getting the cheeky kill there onto Ito down the bottom lane. He realizes that while Sylvanas is down there in that bot lane, while the Shrine is going up here in the mid lane, that is Sylvanas' time to shine down the bot lane, but Tanner's having absolutely none of it. Again, another Iron Skin forced out from Johanna. The Dragonflight going over the top there from Gorgoroth, just giving Chromie the vision and takes some absolute chunks off of Painling. So have a look at the Shrine Guardians. It's going to go over to We Met at Bunnings. Dinks doing what he can to get the Nova and Out on the board. But Bunnings too strong. First Punisher is going to go to them.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing to see this very defensive setup coming out from Nova and Out. They have a composition that wants to be on the proactive side. They want to be pushing forward. They want to be making the most of the heroes that they've got. But right now they're just playing so very defensive and they're just not really getting any value out of it. And it's just allowing We Met at Bunnings to just impose their will on them.
Yeah, poor Nova and Out just really don't have an answer here. That Ito, where he's not getting the value, the desired value on the hot lane. Fantastic Howling Blast actually caught through there. And Sylvanas was forced to haunting wave away there. Dragonfly goes over the top of him for Gorgoroth. And we can see St. Oz all up on that front line playing a pretty good Johanna. Gets the condemn off into the blinding light. Punish onto OG as well. Another condemn. I love the cooldown on condemn, how it's so short. That's really what makes Johanna so valuable. The fact that she's just able to pump out those draw-ins every, what is it, 5 or 6 seconds?
Yeah, something like that. And they have been doing quite well. It was a reasonable defense. They managed to at least save a lot of that fort. But throughout all of that Punisher phase, or while they had those few pushing with the Punisher, Tan on the bottom side was pushing on the Zeratul, and Jester on the top side with the Tiger. So they already get so much advantages out of that they already have a very solid level advantage right now.
So Gorgoroth using Time Walker's Pursuit very efficiently here, making sure that he has a target to aim at every single time, because he realizes the Dilstar's scouting drone is going to be used to unearth Zeratul every single time, because Gorgoroth is going to have to... Gorgoroth? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name. Butchering names since 05. He's going to be looking over his shoulder every second he can to make sure that Tanner is not going to, ruin his day.
Yes. That's always one of the things you have to be very wary of when you're a crony, is that your positioning has to be spot on. You kind of need those time traps to be in those positions where you're expecting that Zeratul to come popping in trying to snub you off. So very much having to be aware of pretty much everything going on around in Gorgoroth.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gorgoroth? God damn, that's a terrible name.
It's shocking, isn't it?
We'll get there eventually, but as we do have the shrine coming up now.
Once he becomes a pro player and gets his own wiki page, we'll be able to click a button and it'll say it for us, GLPhoenix.
That would be wonderful. in that I won't have to voice. Stumble every time I try and say his name.
They do actually get the Shaman camps now do the Nova and Outlads, so they're behind by 2 levels, but that camp is definitely going to help their cause. I mean, Ito down the bottom lane, he realizes that, hey, guys, I'm not getting any value, I'm going to have to come up with you. And with the Shrine going up into the top lane now, and knowing that Bunnings are more than happy to invest 1 or 2 players into making sure that Ito and Sylvanas doesn't get that split push on, and Nova and Out, they've just got an extra thing to think about now.
This is going to be a very risky position for Nova and Out. 10 has been picked up for We Made Up Bunnings, so Nova and Out have to be very cautious of where they find themselves, and they are starting to move themselves away from the point, as OG does take a bit of damage. They are starting to work themselves away, trying to get some of the more safe experience, not wanting to try and take that fight 5v5.
So Painley and Helium and Co, the We Made Up Bunnings lads, they are collapsing onto that shrine at the top. Just slowly chipping it away, because the Nova and Out lads, they realise, GLPhoenix, that they are not able to engage when they're not at 10. I was just about to throw to you, but we can see a huge play coming out here from OG with the Howling Blast with the Frost Presence, catches out Ito, was unable to Haunting Wave away, and now Dinks with those boosters, getting it done, pushing everybody away. That's why D.Va gets so much value, is because she has that limited stun, so to speak, and now Odin's being popped into the Frost Presence roots come out from Dilstar. They're unable to catch anybody, but Jester on the back line, doing so much damage here on the Odin. Tychus is so strong. St. Oz was unable to land the condemn because OG walked over a time trap, but 20 Shrine Guardians ticking up GLPhoenix for We Made Up Bunnings lads. This one is going to be a Mortar Punisher on the top lane.
Yeah, they're going to try something. They are looking at the self-destruct to try and give themselves some space, but they still didn't have level 10 yet, so they're still behind coming into this next fight.
Oh, OG able to heal so much and just eats baby D.Va. Detention in the corner for her. And now Johanna goes down as well. Poor old Nova and Out, they've just lost 2 of their front liners, and the We Made Up Bunnings lads, they realised this. Nova and Out, they didn't want to fight, you could see it, GLPhoenix. They just did not want to engage, they had to in the end of the
Yeah, they've just been a little bit behind him because of, a nice VP coming out, but where's the follow-up? Not really there.
The VP came out and Tanner just got a little bit greedy, was eating tower shots, was eating fort shots, and just went down. It was a fantastic VP. But yeah, 0 follow-up and 0 heals.
Eyes just went massive as he saw those 2 line up as a nice stun from the Punisher going down onto Corridor. But he's been able to back himself away, but yeah, Tanner got a little bit his eyes got a little bit too big. Wanted to make the big play, but as I was saying, the follow just wasn't there, and he ends up going down. They do manage to take down that fort, so still applying the pressure onto Nova and Out, and they're still just in a very good position.
Tychus he's so strong. I mean, if you go even if you can go Draken Laser Drill, Odin gets so much damage as well. And if you build around him in a team like ETC and even Johanna that are able to suck the opponent in, Draken gets so much damage. Tanner again getting the cheeky shots off onto Dilstar just as they take the Sata camp down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and it's just being a real nuisance, Tanner, on this Zeratul, and not only when it comes to these set plays around shrines, is that whenever we've been seeing the Sylvanas try and split from the team to try and get some experience back in, we always have Tanner on the Zeratul just picking them off, and we are going to get a big fight.
Yeah, big fight, and Dilstar gets absolutely melted like chocolate at 80 degrees. He goes down, a fantastic Divine Shield comes out on the 4G. Beautiful play there from William into the heels as well. Wave of Light, sorry, Holy Radiance getting it done. Huge play here from the We Met at Bunnings lads. Dinks on the back line, that is the VP we were talking about. Just on the Odin, able to do so much damage. Choreograph goes down, St. Oz is moments away. Brilliant, sorry, I thought that was Brooks, but it was just Baby Diva getting blown up out of the neck. St. Oz now taking a lot of damage for Dinks on the front line, as a good Johanna does. Forces out the Iron Skin. Great play there from both of these two teams, but We Met at Bunnings just tipping it in their favour.
Yeah, that's pretty much just the level advantage coming into effect there. I mean, if they were a little bit more even, Nova now could very well have taken it. It was a great bunny hop coming in from the Diva, but they just didn't have the tools to actually follow up on that. They were doing a decent amount. They almost took out LG on the Arthas, but a very clutch Divine Shield coming out from the Uther, and also just the Army of the Dead, and being able to just sustain himself with that was really enough to turn that fight around, because once that Arthas didn't actually go down, they were just struggling to get around in the fight.
St. Oz just making his presence known in the bottom lane, but Painling and Helium are having absolutely none of it, and they call the rotation down as the Shrine in the bottom lane goes off now. It is going to be a Frozen Punisher, the only one we haven't seen so far, and once again, like the previous chapters of the Night GLPhoenix, We Met at Bunnings, they get the first start on this one solid.
Yeah, they're in a very good position. One thing to note, for the side of Nova now, they do have that camp pressuring on the top side of the map, so that's something that they can work with, but they're still very behind coming to this next phase.
Yeah,
setup.
Yeah, OG needs to be careful here. They do have the level advantage. Look how strong Arthas is when he gets 3 levels up. He's just able to eat 3 attacks from heroes. And that is all she wrote from Malfurion. See you later, Dilstar. The self-destruct goes in and just buys him a little bit of space. Helium took a lot of damage there. And dare I say it, if the levels were somewhat even, Nova and Out might have dealt a fair chunk with that self-destruct, but VP does come out here from Tanner. But the Odin on Jester doing so much damage. Get melted, Nova and Out. Huge play here from We Met at Bunnings. Dink gets popped into baby form in a beast. And I'll tell you what, GLPhoenix, it is not looking good if you are a Nova and Out fan.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit rough right now. We are starting to see some good setups on the side of Nova and Out. As you've mentioned, if they were a little bit closer in the levels, they may have been able to get some of these kills, but with the level advantage, with the talent advantage onto the side of We Met at Bunnings, they're just able to just stick around in these fights. Ulti is just not dying. And it's just so very obnoxious to deal with, and they're just able to just roll through in these fights.
That's the power of Arthas. I mean, you get him into a sneaky position, like where he was before, just in front of the Sata camps. And the team walked into him. 3 players walked into him, and he it was like bugs just flying into his windshield. He flicked them off like they were absolutely nothing at all, GLPhoenix.
Yeah, you got to start questioning the draft on the side of Nova and Out. Yes, like if they were in a very, at least even or an advantageous position, they would be able to punish a hell of a lot. But now that they're starting to lose out on some of these fights, you're really starting to see the lack of consistent damage coming out from this lineup, as we are starting to see a very heavy siege coming in from the side of the Bunnings.
Yeah, they forced the Punisher over the wall there, so smart play from Nova and Out. Choreograph doing a lot of damage, slowing Sands doing some work as well, just in front of that gate there. Now Tanner, not even bothering with Choreograph, blinks away because he wants Dilstar, and look at him melt. See you later. Crony was there 1 second, gone the next. Self-destruct goes in. There's not going to be enough because We Met at Bunnings, they are flexing their muscles. Johanna now on the front line taking a lot of damage. Singularity Spike gets the kill. Painling, he's not had enough, yet he jumps and he gets greedy. Gets taken out, trying to get the kill on Jinx. But Helium out, throwing out the hammer of Justice. Ito has come back in here with those wailing arrows, and another haunting wave. If you take a counter, it gets double of those. Jinx is going to get popped into baby form if you're not careful. There it is, but the frag is not going to go down. The zoning effect is too good from Duelstar. Ito actually rejoined that fight and actually made a contribution then, which is, it's unfortunate that we have to say that because he's been taken out of this game by Weird at Bunnings. Through no fault of his own, Bunnings have just shut him down completely.
Yeah, they've turned him into a bit of a non-factor as he's sticking around. But yeah, it was a little bit, as you mentioned, it was a little bit greedy to try and go for those extra kills. They could have just finished off that keep, but they do just end up having to walk away with only half taken down. And meanwhile, on the top side, there was a Shaman camp doing a decent amount of work for the side of Nova and Out, so getting a little bit of experience for themselves, taking down those top towers, but still, they're 2 levels behind, almost 3. They're down a talent here, and it's not the best of positions. We'll have to see if they're able to get a good setup coming around the next Shrine phase, as we do have kind of going in.
Yeah, Weird at Bunnings, they're in a good position here. Slowing Sands does actually catch Jester in a time trap as well. This guy's Tychus, he should be melting, but no, he's eating them like he's Muradin right now. Now, St. Oz and Dinks on that front line taking a lot of damage, all deep with that frost presence, just dishing it out. Duelstar can only throw out so much healing, however. There's the Howling Blast, tries to catch out St. Oz, but Iron's going to save the day. Iota goes down again. Well done, Weird at Bunnings. They do have the advantage now. It's 4v5 going down in the mid lane, and the Nova are now, they're trying so hard. Twilight Dream does come out, but no, it's not going to be enough. Again, Weird at Bunnings is 2G. Greymane now bites the dust. So they're going to retreat here. They got their 3 flags. They lost 1, and now they're going to take this shrine that's popped up in the mid lane. It's going to be a mortar. And up in the top lane, Shamans are going to get the job. Well, they're not going to get the job done. Gorograth is going to be there, but that's something that Nova and Out have to deal with instead of the shrine.
Yeah, it's just very good position for Weird at Bunnings, and not really much that Nova and Out can actually do at this point. Jinx is coming by to at least scour the area, but really don't think that they can actually work their way into the point. They're just not in the best of position, and that's pretty much just been the story of this entire game. They've always been a little bit slow on those rotations, a little bit slow at setting up, and when you have something like a Chroma, you need to be the ones in the best. You want to have the forward position, you want to have your front line ready to stop your opponents, just so you can have that Chroma just sit on the back line and then just fire away at those artillery shots. But that's just not able to happen with the way this game has been going.
They're 1 away from the shrine here, but they're not taking it. Can you break that one down, GFC?
Would, but there's a fight coming out.
Oh yeah, Helium is just going at it in the mid lane. Forced to blow Divine Shield on himself. Tried to take away the Seder camps from Nova and Out. So Siege Camp's going to be doing a little bit of damage in the mid lane now. But yeah, back to what we were saying before. There's still one minion away. They finally get it now. But what was the logic behind that?
Usually, when a team is so far ahead that they have a lot of options to go with, one of the plays is to just stall out the completion of the shrine, just get as many of the camps as you possibly can to just apply pressure all over the map, and then when the whole team is ready, you finish off that last Guardian, you grab the Punisher, and then as a very concerted team, and once everyone has everything up, you can make that play towards the push.
I was going to say, this could be the win condition here if Bunnings play it right, but the Punisher has been baited all the way back behind the floor, and that just leaves Bunnings to deal with the towers in the front lane and the gate as well. Self-destruct has actually come out here from Dinks on the D.Va, didn't hit anything other than the Punisher. Now Jester in that Odin form doing so much damage. Sylvanas gets absolutely melted. Oh, see you later, Ito. Dinks again back into that mecha. It's an entangling roots to Zorg, but again, Arthas, he's just having none of it, like bugs on a windscreen. We've said it before, all up in that front lane, just doing so much damage. And that, I think, is the game. HotS, they're going to go for the core. The defense matrix isn't going to be enough. Tanner trying to take down Dinks here, get those cheeky kills. Just pad the stats a little bit. Why not when you're so far ahead? 3 levels, in fact, about to be 4. This is GG. We met at Bunnings. They're going to get the win over Nova and Out. GL, what do you make of the game?
You started to see it very early on. Nova and Out, I think there was just a few errors when it came to just like lane acquisitions. I mean, the Sylvanas, you want to be playing very aggressive, and they were never able to do that at any point throughout the entire game. So that was pretty much a pick that really lost out on any value. And you have your Wailing Arrow when it comes to level 10, but by the time they got to level 10, we met at Bunnings were already around level 13, and they were already like controlling the map so very well, and they were just like put behind so far early on, and they just didn't really have the tools to make it back in.
They just took Iota out of the game so well. Even when that first shrine went down up in the top lane, they realized that this is where Sylvanas could really hurt us. And they put Tanner and Orgy down there to deal with him. And after he was melted, they just went up to the top, took the shrine, which was already being controlled by the likes of Tychus and Greymane. So Painting and Jester doing a fantastic job there as well. But the time has come to pick ourselves an MVP. GLPhoenix, what is your analytical brain telling you?
Well, it's kind of a mix-up between Tanner and Painting, because Tanner, although he did kind of his eyes, the signs, the sources in some of those moments where he saw those very big highlight reel plays present themselves, he did kind of get himself knocked out a little bit, but he was a very strong presence and was really forcing the members of Nova and Out to be very aware of him and also making those plays around the map. But the Greymane, I think, also was a very really put his name forward for MVP nomination, because he did a lot of damage and was very good at securing those kills. So I'm not like, the damage dealers are usually the highlight players.
See, I like OG. I like what OG was able to do on Arthas, just to be able to land those Howling Blasts. And like we said, once he was in that front line, nobody was able to touch him. I mean, Helium did a fantastic job as well. So I guess it's another one of those team efforts.
Yeah, I mean, as I was thinking about it, like talking about both Tanner and Painting with the DPS, I started thinking, yeah, Algae, if he wasn't able to sit there as that just brick wall that was just impenetrable, then I'm not sure if those fights would have been going that way. So it is a bit of a team effort, but I think in the end, I think it swayed me a little bit towards giving it to Algae on the Arthas.
Well done, LG. You've picked yourself up an MVP nomination into the GameStar MVP program now. We are about 10 minutes away from maintenance here. As Avexium, our host, said before, we will be playing the game on tomorrow night, I believe, but I'm going to throw you back to him because that's what he's for.
Thanks, Kitfox. So we'll just see how that goes, because we are waiting to see. A few have been advising us that we can actually start the games, and if we are in game before maintenance, the servers will stay up until the game's finished. Now, waiting to see if there's clarification for us. Give us a bit of time. We're just going to see, because we do have, unfortunately, 2 games that just need to be finished. So if we can't get them finished before that time, we will be having to, of course, put that game till tomorrow night for round 4. So if we do that, we'll be playing it tomorrow night, round 4. But give us 2 minutes. We'll just quickly double check what's happening, and then we'll get back to you.